Dr. Vernon Johns was an American minister, scholar, and civil rights pioneer whose bold intellect and uncompromising advocacy for racial justice laid the groundwork for the modern civil rights movement. Widely regarded as one of the most provocative and courageous figures of his time, Johns was best known for his tenure as pastor of Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama from 1947 to 1952, where his fiery sermons and radical views on race relations shocked and inspired many. He was often called the father of the civil rights movement, though his role is less recognized than later leaders. Vernon Johns was born on April 22, 1892 in Darlington Heights, Virginia, to a family of sharecroppers. His rural upbringing gave him first-hand experience of the systematic oppression and economic struggles faced by African Americans in the South. Despite limited resources, Johns excelled academically, earning a scholarship to attend Virginia Union University, a historically black institution in Richmond, Virginia. Johns demonstrated an early proclivity for intellectual pursuits, mastering Greek, Latin, and Hebrew, and developing an enduring passion for classical literature and theology. He later studied at Oberlin College in Ohio and the University of Chicago. His academic excellence and command for classical philosophy informed his sermons, where he often drew parallels between ancient history and contemporary racial injustice. Dr. Johns' ministry was marked by his fearless critique of racial inequality and relentless call for black self-determination. Before arriving at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, Johns served at various churches across the South, gaining a reputation for his brilliance and outspokenness. However, his uncompromising approach frequently clashed with the conservative sensibilities of his congregants and church leadership. At Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, Johns continued to challenge the status quo, urging black congregants to confront racism head-on rather than accept subjugation. He insisted on the importance of economic independence, often preaching about black entrepreneurship and advocating for boycotts of white-owned businesses that perpetuated discrimination. His sermons were as scholarly as they were provocative. In one notable sermon titled, "It's Safe to Murder Negroes," Johns condemned the systematic devaluation of black lives, pointing to the widespread acceptance of lynching and racial violence in the South. His courage in addressing such topics from the pulpit often alienated more conservative church members who preferred a less confrontational approach. Frustration with his outspokenness ultimately led to his resignation in 1952, paving the way for the church to hire Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., whose leadership would ignite the Montgomery Bus Boycott. Though Johns left Dexter Avenue Baptist Church under pressure, his influence endured in the civil rights movement. His emphasis on black economic independence, direct action, and moral courage shaped the strategies of leaders like King. Indeed, many of Johns' ideas, such as boycotts and mass mobilization, would later define the civil rights movement. Beyond his ministry, Johns was a prolific writer and thinker, often publishing essays in black newspapers that dissected the racial injustices of the Jim Crow South. He was unyielding in his criticism of both white supremacy and the complacency of some black leaders, whom he accused of compromising for social acceptance rather than pursuing true justice. It was only after he died in 1965 where Johns' contributions began to receive broader recognition. His ideas and activism are now seen as foundational to the work of the civil rights leaders who followed, particularly in Montgomery, where his fiery sermons inspired a generation of activists. Dr. Johns was a visionary leader whose intellect and courage set the stage for the civil rights movement. His scholarship, revolutionary sermons, and emphasis on black economic independence challenged the social and racial order of the Jim Crow South long before such activism became widespread. Though he never achieved the fame of his successor, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Johns' work laid a critical foundation for the struggle for racial justice in America. His life was a testament to the power of conviction and enduring impact of speaking truth to power. To Dr. Vernon Johns, we proudly stand on your shoulders. For more information, please visit my website at www.ontheshoulders1.com. There, you can support my OTSOG book series. You can also support me on Patreon at patreon.com/OTSOG. And you can hit the super like button under this video. I love you all, and make sure you catch the next video coming up.